Hi, everyone. How are you all doing today?
Good. How are you, Miss Cindy?
I am great. So, we're very excited to be here this afternoon. And here at AFWA, we're all about empowerment. As a CPA or finance professional, supporting your clients is your life's passion, but it can also be a lot to manage. And that's why having the right partners surrounding your business and your clients is important. We are excited to announce our partnership with CoverHound, who is poised to make life easier for our members. CoverHound is an insurtech brokerage that provides personal and business insurance for dreamers and doers. And the CoverHound team is on a mission to support you and your clients by protecting you and their businesses from the things you can't control through insurance. We're excited about our partnership with CoverHound at AFWA's insurance partner and introduce you to their COO, Caitlin Saenz. Welcome, Caitlin.
Yay,
Hi.
Caitlin. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you
So
guys so much for having me.
thank you. We're very excited about the partnership, and so we really appreciate you being here. Caitlin, tell us about yourself, what got you into insurance, and how long you've been doing this.
Absolutely. I always love hearing about how people got into insurance. I feel like people getting into like the CPA financial pros roles probably about the same. You don't usually it's very intentional or very not, right? And for me, it wasn't. So I started in insurance 16 years ago, and
You can't be that old.
I know. Thank you. No, it's my skincare routine. No, but I did. I started really young, and I was just looking for a job. They had an ad in a paper because back then that's how people, actually placed ads was in papers. And I applied, and I had to go through this like weird testing, which I had never done, and like these fake phone calls. It was like really strange, right? And I got hired at Geico. And I'm very grateful for that experience. I was there about 10 years. And then almost 7 years ago now, I made the switch over to CoverHound. And that kind of landed me more in the insure tech environment, which is kind of cool. And, I always joke that I had no idea what I was getting into or why. But deep down, I have like three very easy core values. Four, if you kind of count the last one. But the first one is security. More than anything, I want security for myself, my family, my community, and even the people I serve, like their businesses, personal lines, all that. And so when you think about insurance and security, like I landed in a position that literally is like my strongest core value, being able to provide that to people. So I don't really think it was an accident. I think the universe gives us what we need. But that's kind of how I landed here.
That's exciting. It's great when you can find something that you're so passionate about. So, why does CoverHound focus on smaller businesses?
I've that's a really good question, and I think that's sometimes easy and hard to answer. But when I work with smaller businesses or work with people for their like, again, like personal type insurance, I feel like I'm being a supporter, right? Like if you're working with a big corporation, sometimes it can really feel like you're a cog in the wheel. But when you're working with small businesses who are trying to make their everyday a little bit better and their clients' everyday is a little bit better, it goes right back to those values. It really aligns with what I'm trying to do. My other values, which I didn't mention, were like transparency. I really like even kill, and I think talking with Shane a lot, she probably gets that from me as well. Like, let's just put it out there and see where it goes, right? Um,
Absolutely. That's why we're
so
doing this video, Caitlin.
yeah. And so again, if you think about that smaller business, kind of going back to the transparency piece, that's it's a lot easier to be transparent when you have a lot less layers. And so that's kind of like why I like to work with smaller businesses, why I feel like I'm being more helpful. And also from a business standpoint, we're a digital insure tech brokerage, and I can kind of talk about what that means. But it's a lot easier to serve smaller businesses with that platform. Like bigger businesses probably have like very complex risks, and a lot of times they need sometimes a team of people working with them. As to where for us, we can meet their needs. We're passionate about what they're doing, and we have a solution that makes it easier for them and us to manage it. So that's kind of nice.
You use the term tech a lot, and what does a digital brokerage, what's the difference between the digital brokerage and the traditional brokerage?
Yeah, great question. Great segue. When we think about insure tech, it is a technology component, right? So if you go back and say insurance brokerage or insurance carrier, like a Geico, Progressive, some of these big names, they are huge on staff. They have a lot of underwriters. They've got a lot of touch points. It's just a lot of manual work, a lot of like paper filling out, accord forms. Like if you say that to someone in insurance, they're like, not the accord forms. It's like, it's like whatever your dreaded form is around tax time. It's like, that's our version of it. Right. Like, so when you think about, again, that paper, that like, everything has to be touched. People are entering stuff manually. That's kind of what a normal brokerage would look like. From us, we have a platform that you can go on and buy a policy without ever needing human interaction if that's what you don't need, right? Everything is kind of, what's your risk? What can we do? And we can rate you against, we've got like 43 carriers we work with. So we've got 43 people that we're going to market and saying like, what's the best based on what you've told us about your business, what your like actual risk and needs are, and then what carriers are going to be best served to help you there, right? And so that's like the big difference, is that digital piece, that rating system, and then we really lean into digital assets on the back end as well. People power technology, and we like to empower our people by kind of making it easier on them through technology for our customers, clients, as well as our employees.
Now I have to ask, is there like, if somebody gets stuck, do you have like a helpline or something where people can reach out to someone?
100%, more than one actually. So
Okay.
you can chat and email, which those are going to be super available. You can also call. So we do have a full agency staff. We're able to pick up the phone, help. The people are responding to the chats. We're not doing like AI or anything. So if you chat in and ask a question, one of the people you would call is also the person answering that chat. So we do have both. And again, people power technology. Technology is stronger and better with that human touch. And so we never want to forget that. We just want to use it to be smarter where we can.
Then on that same note, is there like, I know we're in Eastern Standard Time. Is it, if somebody's in California, is there a time, or is it open 24 hours, or how does that work?
That's great. So we're not open 24 hours since we are such a
Okay.
small team. Yes. But we do have people here 5:00 Pacific time, 8:00 Eastern time. So we do
Okay.
try to set it to where there's like a good spread. And in general, if you were to again chat with us or email us after hours, if you can't get in touch with us, that next morning someone's going through and working that. And so
Okay.
even though, we might not be able to answer you right then, we can still get back to you. But that digital piece is open 24/7. So
Okay.
if you want to buy a policy right now, you can still do that. And then you can call us, email us, ask questions the next day if you need to as
Okay,
well.
that was going to be my next question. If they got through it and say, "Oh no, I messed up something. I got to get a hold of them," they can get you the next day. Great.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and that's good to hear that you still have that human touch. So do you want to talk about that a little bit?
Yeah. Like I really do love technology. And I know right now sometimes technology can have a love-hate, because I also hate technology. Like I hate Instagram. I hate, like there's a lot I hate, right? But the reality is our worlds and our needs and things are changing. And it happened in the Industrial Revolution. Like this is kind of just a normal flow. And I've even done whole like speeches and talks about, a CX, customer experience evolution with AI and what that's going to look like. But you can never forget the human touch. So if you think about like LinkedIn, I'm very active on LinkedIn. You probably see me on there. That's me. I'm not having a bot write that. And you can very quickly see when bots and people are separate, like when it starts to get too much in technology. You can tell by the verbiage, some of the words used, it's just like clearly obvious. Then I was listening to a podcast recently where the woman had put out a job post for, I think it was like an executive assistant or like office manager or something. And it was like, one of the questions was, how would your best friend describe you? And she's like, I could tell everyone that used AI because it sounded like they all had the same best friend. Like all these people in 50 different states had the same best friend, the way it was being described, right? So those are just very easy examples of why that human connection is always going to be so important to us and will never be forgotten. And we might try to utilize it differently. Like maybe we have our humans writing some canned responses to make it easier. But we always want to remember that technology is a tool. It is not a solution. It's never going to solve all your problems. And technology only works with the right people behind it.
That is so true. And it's, on a side note, it sounds like we might need you to do that program for our members. That
I
sounds
was
like
just
a
thinking
great,
that, Cindy. I've
that sounds
already
like
got
a
her.
great class
Yes, I've already got
so
her like checked in there for a month. She just doesn't know it yet.
yeah, watch for more on that, Caitlin.
Any way I can add value, any way I can give advice from my lens, my perspective, my expertise, I am more than happy to, because that's the kind of relationships I like, is where I feel like we're all getting something out of it, right?
So,
Well, and I think that's one of the things that's important about AFWA, because our members love to work directly with our partners and they like to get to know our partners. And so that's so refreshing to hear, because I know they'll be reaching out, and we're very excited to be able to put this out there. And so tell us a little bit about, why partnering with AFWA is so important to you.
That is a multi-level question. So I first learned about AFWA when I went to the Virginia Society of CPAs women's focused CE credit kind of class one day in Richmond. And I was chatting and I was like, sometimes I'm here not as CoverHound. I'm here because I am a woman. I'm in finance, right? And there's not always a lot of support. And so I went to that to be around more women in finance or professionals trying to better themselves. And in the conversation, one of the ladies mentioned the AFWA. Because I was like, I don't know if I fit in. Am I allowed to be here? Like, even when I emailed them, like, I'm happy to pay, but like, am I allowed in? Like, as like not a sponsor, but as a person. And they had really cool speakers. It was just like a really great lineup. And so I had already kind of started looking at it at that point. And then as I was taking a step back and thinking about CoverHound and who we're supposed to serve, how we're supposed to do it, we've been on a transformational journey for that. And I've very much been focused on women-led groups because I do think it's underserved. And someone said it best recently, one of our other partners is like, there's nothing micro about 1 billion women.
woo, I like that.
I like that.
Right. I was like, dang, because they like to pretend like that, oh, it's too niche. Is it? So that's another tangent for another day. Not that we won't, of course, like insure men as well. But so as I was thinking about the AFWA and that partnership, I ran across Women Who Count as I was looking for, again, female focused, conferences and ways we can support. And it was just very serendipitous. It just kind of made sense. I stepped in at a moment where insurance is on the table anyway, I'm told. And it really felt like it was supposed to happen. And the more that I learned about the FWA, and again, focusing not just on women in accounting, but financial professionals, which is a lot broader. Insurance absolutely is a function of finance, risk management, all that stuff, right? It just felt like it had a really good connection. Meeting Shane first felt like easy is the best way to say it. You know how you meet someone and it's just easy conversation, easy things to talk about. That also made it feel more comfortable. And then the more I learned about what you guys are trying to do, what your mission is, what your goals are, and how you're trying to help and empower these women, the more I felt like this was just a very good synergy, because we don't just help financial professionals. We're not here just to insure them. Their clients have problems that sometimes they're having to solve for them, right? Like, okay, this is a unique risk. You definitely need these coverages. No one's willing to write it. We want to be a partner that helps their business holistically, not just insures them and is like, thanks,
Give me the check. So let me go on.
Right. Like, thanks for that commission. But yeah. No, so it just made more sense that we felt like we could serve them from their own risk management perspective, but also help their businesses grow and support their clients, which is the most important for anyone. Any business owner is more focused about their clients and themselves most of the time. So,
well, and I think you touch on something that's really important too, because so often our clients, the clients of our members, turn to our members when they're working with them, and they need help. They need, they're looking to their CPA or their finance professional to improve things. And so it's great now that they can say, hey, we have CoverHound. Why don't you check them out? And let me give you some information, and you can look into this, and it might help your business. So I just love the idea that this isn't just for our members, it's for their clients as well. So I'm excited about that, and I really thank you so much for sharing that, and we're excited to have you as a member and to be a partner with AFWA. So thank you very much. We're excited about it.
Of
Can I
course.
ask a
Thank you.
crazy question, Caitlin? Maybe you can't answer, but let's put a little ad out here. So, we see all these crazy insurance ads. What's the craziest story? Like, what's the craziest insurance? You can't tell names or anything, but do you have a crazy story, like a cat landing in the tree? I don't know, something,
I do.
Okay.
And so I won't tell names and I won't tell the company. But I was on the phones for a long time. I did not start off as an executive. I did not graduate college and come into this. Insurance paid for my college degree. Thank you so much. Insurance educated me. They developed me professionally. But I started like taking that phone call with that person who's real mad about that late fee. Like that's where I started in this career.
That's good to hear. Okay.
And I'll never forget, a customer called in and they were frustrated that their rate went up, which is very common. Like, I'm not belittling that at all. Like, it is extremely frustrating when rates change. It's hard. We all have fixed incomes, whether or not we're on a fixed income or not in some traditional way. So I get it. And they're like, I just don't understand, why did it go up? And so my job is to research why the rate changed and have an educated conversation about why, right? And I'm like 20 years old, for the record, too. And so I'm having this conversation, I'm looking, and there was a claim. And I noticed that the claim was a very high payout, which means that it was this person's max limit. And I'm talking hundreds of thousands of dollars. And so I'm like, what could have happened for hundreds of thousands of dollars? So I go back on the phone, like, hey, the reason the rate went up was this claim. And, this person just felt like the claim wasn't that big of a deal. And they were, kind of concerned, like, and so I decided to look at it after the phone call. And so I'm like, I'm so sorry you feel that way, but like that the payout was pretty hefty, blah, blah, blah. Calls over. I'm looking at it. And the person's statement, I can see like claim statements. And the person's statement was, I was racing another person. I went around a corner. I heard a thump and a scream and noticed that I had run over an elderly woman. And so I read through the notes. The woman did live, is from as far as I know from that point. She obviously had to go to the hospital. Her son was there. But that's the crazy story to me, is that this person hit an old lady, described it as her being a thump and a scream, and then was upset that their rate went up.
And didn't think it was a big deal.
Yeah.
Wow.
So
Wow. But
I think we could have a whole session on Caitlin's stories.
I know. That's why I'm sure, you always see these insurance commercials and they're always like these crazy commercials. So
like mayhem is probably pulled from like real situations.
Oh, yeah.
And the same thing with farmers, where he likes to go in and be like, we've got this truck. Yeah. Those things are probably real, guys. I'm being real honest.
Are,
like,
I've heard they are. So it's kind of fun. So
well, thank you for sharing that. I just had to put some real feeling in there. I figured you would have a story. So thank you. Thank you.
Thank you
that's
so much.
The craziest one.
Yeah, thank you so much. So Caitlin, how would our members get in touch with you?
We have all kinds of ways. So first and foremost, we are going to be on the members benefit, your members benefit page, right?
Yeah.
We also have a very special homepage for AFWA members. It is www.coverhound.com/ get this, AFWA.
Woo-woo.
Very easy. And so that's going to have resources. It's got specific data. It's got where they can get quotes, all that stuff. We also have a phone number just for our members. That is 844-640-1388. And lastly, we have a special email if they want to reach us there. It's just AFWA@coverhound.com. We try to keep these easy so that people aren't having to like fiddle through stuff. Like, what could it be? So yeah, and then on the website, on your special landing page, you've got that phone number and all that good stuff listed too. But we're going to have checklists and resources and just hopefully things that make it easier. And as I get to know the community more and get to speak with some of them at different levels, we can add more materials that make sense for whatever friction points or problems they have. And that's, again, always my goal, is how can we give something that's going to make it a little easier for them.
Yeah, and I was just thinking, as a platinum partner of AFWA, thank you very much for being at that level, by the way. We greatly appreciate that. And so you guys also have that partner page on our website where we link out to that page. But I'm thinking we might have to have a section on there called Caitlin Stories.
Oh, we can.
I
We
love it.
can.
A
We'll have
YouTube
some fun.
series. We could have our own CoverHound mayhem stories.
There you go. There you go.
We can. I'll never forget, there was something called the Gotcha Files, and we would always read about like, as you know, like people who had gotten caught in claims. And so yes, I've got some juice even in my role now. Some of the stuff I see up because I have to respond to like DOI complaints for, I have to assist with that. And some of the stuff is like, again, very much like a concern, and and it's all a concern, I should say. Let me watch my words. It truly is all a concern, and I fully understand it, but there are some strange things that come along with it.
Well, Caitlin, thank you so much for joining us today, and we're looking forward to meeting you in person at our Women Who Count conference coming up this fall. And we're really excited about this partnership and the benefits it will bring to our members. So thank you for being a partner with AFWA and a member of AFWA. We truly value you, and I know that you're going to bring great things to our members, and we look forward to a long-lasting relationship with you and CoverHound.
Same here. Thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited to meet everyone in October.
Wonderful. Thank you.
All right. We'll see you.
All right.